so let me just first start by saying good morning to everyone. We are grateful that you took time to come and share with us today. I am Frank Lance. I am the president and CEO of the Parks and People Foundation, where for us, our mission is that we are uniting Baltimore through parks. And so I'm grateful that all of you have come and that you're sharing with us today. We've come for an exciting time, and it's just a good thing to have you all in the place. And so at this point in time, what I want to do is explain why we've asked you all to gather today. So Parks and People Foundation, working on behalf of the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, the Mayor's Office, the City of Rex, the Department of Recs and Parks, Department of Planning, we've been working for quite some time on the Middle Branch of the Patapsco. We believe that the Middle Branch Waterfront will be Baltimore's next great recreational and natural waterfront, with water and land-based attractions along this 11-mile stretch of the Patapsco River shoreline that connects network of parks and paths. And so what we've been doing is working to vet and recommend a landscape architecture firm to the mayor on behalf of the citizens and patrons of Baltimore for this Middle Branch area. Now, what we're going to ask the firm to do in the end is to do a design and development over this 11-mile stretch of the Middle Branch of the Patapsco waterfront. And for us, that's from Port Covington all the way around to Masonville Cove. And so let me tell you what we've done to date. There have been over 50 community and private meetings where we've met with hundreds of residents and patrons and elected officials that represent this area and live, shop, work here. We've been dealing with the property owners, sponsors, community leaders, steering committee, and working group. We started looking at over 20 different landscape architecture firms that have done work on the scale of the project that we have just described. And over that 20, we've now come up with 3 firms, and you see their work before us. These 3 firms, they all sent teams into the Baltimore area on April 24th and April 25th. They did a 2-day tour of the area that we're asking them to perform design work on. They were given instructions and then asked to come back before us with what you see behind me, their view of what this area could look like. And so the 3 firms that we have represented here are James Conner in Field Operations, Hargrave, Jones, and West 8. And so we're gathered here today because we want to present their work and explain to you the stage in the process in which we now exist and what's going to be taking place from here. But before I go any further, we are grateful to have our mayor here with us. And what I'd like to do is have our mayor, my friend, Bernard C. Jack Young, come before us and give us some comments. Mr. Mayor, if you would now come.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Those of you that have your Bibles, if you turn to the book of Psalms, the 127th Psalms, except the Lord built the house, they that build it in vain. I'm not in church. I forgot. Got a little carried away. Okay. First of all, I'd like to bring greetings to the Deputy Secretary, Benjamin Wu, from the Maryland Department of Commerce. Senator Ferguson, he's not here yet. Where is he? All the way down the end. You're supposed to be down here. Okay. Delegate Brooke Learman from the 46th District. Director Moore from Recreation and Parks. Our Director of Planning, Chris Ryder, Dr. Lance, Brad Rogers, Tom York, Michael Middleton from SB7 Coalition. And I wish to first congratulate Parks and People Foundation, our dedicated staff from the Department of Recreation and Parks and the Department of Planning, and our partners in South Baltimore Gateway Partnership, SB7 and Weller Development, who have collaborated on this truly creative and innovative process. I want to thank everybody for their hard work for getting us to this point. Dr. Lance, under your leadership, Parks and People is transitioning to a new and exciting era of engaging communities at the grassroots and partnering with the city to leverage resources and get things done. We welcome your continued collaboration, but I want to acknowledge our funding partners. This initiative has been made possible with Casino Local Impact Grant funds supported through the Local Development Council, chaired by Senator Bill Ferguson and managed under the direction of the city. Horseshoe Casino Baltimore, you are our partner, and but for you and your success, these funds would not be available. Thank you again, Tom. Casino grant funding has also come through the direct support of South Baltimore Gateway Partnership. Brad Rogers keep me up to date on all the truly innovative and transformational work the partnership in South Baltimore is doing. I don't really like scripts, but Dr. Lance already laid it out about all the wonderful designs that the architects have presented before you, and I looked at all of them. I like them all, really. I wish we had the money to do them all, but we know that we're going to pick one of the top ones that the community be engaged with to select, and I'm just so happy that I seen some people swimming. I said, oh, we're going to have the water clean so people can swim. You know, that was a big thing for me, and I know that we can do it if we continue to do what we're supposed to do with recycling, stop throwing things in the sewers, and then we can make sure that our water is swimmable and that we leave this world better for generations yet born. But I just want to thank you, Dr. Lance, for all that you do, not just with Parks and People, but in the community surrounding your great church. At this time, I want to call up the councilman of this district and let him have a few words. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. And then it's back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Franklin, thank you for everything that Parks and People is doing. I represent the northeastern part of this area where the park will be. I could not be more excited for what's about to happen here. I'm really excited to work with Director Moore and Rec and Parks, continue the great work with Senator Bill Ferguson, the rest of the 46th delegation, Delegate Learman. I know we have other community leaders here, Pastor Alvin Gwynn, who have really contributed a lot. Not only to this, but to a lot of the projects in the casino impact area. So Senator Ferguson, thank you very much for your leadership on that. And Mr. Mayor, as always, thank you.
Mr. Mayor and Councilman both, thank you for your comments and thank you for your support of this project. One of the things that you heard the mayor say is that the community involvement has been integral to us from the very beginning of this. And getting to this stage, we don't want to make a change. We really believe in having the community involved is just paramount in what we do. And so from the very beginning, we've made sure that the community has been a part of it. So now, with that said, let me tell you how the community can be a part at this stage. We've had these three companies come before us, and they've all given us these designs, and they were asked to do three things about this entire 11-mile stretch. Look at the trails, how would they integrate the trails from a pedestrian standpoint, look at the area under 395 and 95, what would they do about that, and then finally look at Middle Branch Park, and if you had that park at your disposal, what would you do with it? And they've actually given us their response to those three things. But what we now need is we need the community to give us your view on what you see before us. And so for a 2-week period, starting today, we actually launched last night through June 12th, for about a 2-week period. These will be on display both at the Cherry Hill Ena Pratt Library and at City Garage. They'll be on display. You can go there, you can take a look at it, you can take your time. So today we're just doing a press conference, time will fly by, but you can take your time, go to either of these two locations, take a look, and then give public comments. Some of you may wish to do so online. There is a website. You can go to www.middlebranchwaterfront.com, www.middlebranchwaterfront.com. You can see the slides there and give comments also. So public, we really want you involved in this. There's a 2-week period in which you can go, see it, give comments, or you can go on the website and do that. And so please do that so that your input is a part of the process of selecting one of these three vendors that we will then recommend to the mayor. Now, to show the importance of the community and the work that we're doing, the very next speaker will be someone who represents the community. My friend, Michael Middleton, chairman of SB7, we're gonna ask if you would come and just present to us as only you can.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Mayor, our delegation from the 46th District, Senator Ferguson and Delegate Brooke Learman. Yes, my friends from the Senior Citizens Program, friends and community members. This is a great day for the South Baltimore communities. It truly is. It is my belief that through this development, South Baltimore will become a jewel for the entire city of Baltimore. Not only because of what we think the beauty it will provide, but beyond that. This is an opportunity for nature itself to connect communities who historically have been divided or separated. This is an opportunity for folk from Brooklyn and Cherry Hill and Westport to come together in recreation or other types of things. It is my belief that this is only the beginning for the start of a great South Baltimore that inevitably will inure to the benefit of Baltimore City itself. Thank you so very much.
I always love to hear Michael speak. There is something in my faith tradition that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And he always casts vision. Hopefully you all just caught on to the fact that this can be the jewel of Baltimore. So having heard from the community, we also want to hear from our elected officials. We've had support from our elected officials from the very beginning of this project. And so with that in mind, we want to call now on Senator Bill Ferguson. He will come and speak, followed by Delegate Brooke Learman, as we will hear them both.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. What an exciting day, huh? This is a community and a number of communities where we have spent a lot of time planning, right? Michael Middleton, you know about this. Ms. Betty, how many planning sessions have you been to? Right? The story of what we are doing here today is not planning. This is about setting forth the plan of what we are going to do. And I think that is the message, is that community members are not picking an idea. They're not picking something they should just be hopeful about. They are making a commitment about what we as the city of Baltimore will do to invest in communities who have been fighting for years and generations to have the neighborhood and opportunities that they deserve. I have been honored to represent the 46th District with an amazing team, with a mayor who is fighting incredibly hard, with city council members who are pushing, but most importantly, with residents and neighborhood leaders who believe in the power of place and the power of bringing people together to build communities. What we have at the Middle Branch is something that is the potential to be a national model. This is the only place in the entire country where we have the opportunity to put a stake in the ground and say, in communities that may look a little bit different, may have different access to opportunity, we are going to make a massive investment to say that these communities rise together. They build from one another, and together we are a stronger city for it. So today, this is launching a national opportunity for the city of Baltimore, and is a commitment to what we are going to do to build the neighborhoods and the places that matter for the future of this incredible place. So thank you all. It's an honor to be here. I look forward to putting the first shovel in the ground. Oh, and with that, I would like to introduce my incredible partner who has been with me and working with us as part of the delegation, Delegate Brooke Learman.
Thank you. I will be brief. I was looking through my emails this morning because we've been talking about this plan for a long time, and I actually found the very first email that I received talking about putting together a plan on November 9th, 2016. And I think that day, which came after an election day, that email was the only good email I think I got on that very dark day. And you know, it's been a few years, but I'm thrilled that finally we are here. We have real visions to look at and real plans. And the reason that we've been working so hard since then to get to this point, and the reason that we're going to keep working so hard, is because parks are the heart of our city, and we have to take care of our heart. These parks, this vision, This has the opportunity, we have the opportunity to make sure that we are building a physical bridge, physical spaces that unite our communities. You know, I very rarely disagree with my friend Mike Middleton, but today I'm going to. South Baltimore isn't going to be the jewel of Baltimore. It is the jewel of Baltimore. And we are going to make sure that everybody knows it, because we are a divided city in many ways, but parks are unique in that they are spaces where we can all come together and be together as Baltimoreans and as Marylanders. And that is why I'm so thrilled to be working on this park project with Lance, with Parks and People, with Mike, with Betty, with the Baltimore Rowing Club, with all of you. And Bill and Robin and Luke and I and Eric and I, we are dedicated to making sure that this is not where this ends, but that this is the beginning. That we, in a few years, are romping around with our kids and your kids, running around these parks, taking water taxis back and forth, and making sure that we're building a thriving, green, beautiful park for all of us to enjoy. Thanks.
So again, we want to thank the senator and the delegate for coming and presenting. It's also come to me that Councilman Reisinger wanted to be here also, but there was a family emergency. Otherwise, he would be here. We have our Deputy Secretary of the State Department of Commerce here, Dr. Benjamin Wu, and the state also has been a critical partner in this. And so, Dr. Wu, if you would come and give a few comments.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It's such an honor to be here representing Governor Hogan on this exciting day for South Baltimore and the state of Maryland. You know, I've had the pleasure of, Frank, working with Parks and People Foundation on a project over in West Baltimore that is partnering with Coppin State, with MICA, and with Parks and People Foundation to provide urban farming and also natural dyeing, which has artistic, cultural, and we hope economic impact here in Baltimore. It's a significant project, and Parks and People Foundation are really leading the way on that. So thank you for your efforts. We enjoy working with you. And I'm very taken by the mission of Parks and People Foundation, which is to unite the city of Baltimore through parks. Here today, we offer another opportunity to bind us all as Baltimoreans and as Marylanders. You know, Mayor, you had quoted scripture, and I was ready to give an amen, because in many ways, today we are a congregation. We are a group of folks congregating today to talk about the future of Baltimore and how we can continue to improve this city. If you believe, as we all do, that Baltimore is a great city, a world-class city, we need amenities like what is going to transform the Middle Branch Park with the trails, with the boating, with a number of opportunities for us to continue to try to attract and retain the best and the brightest, the businesses here in Baltimore. In Port Covington, once that is developed, will clearly benefit from the work that is being planned here at Middle Branch. As we see the plans develop, I'm confident that not only will South Baltimore benefit, but the entire city will benefit, and that will allow us to continue to make the pitch that Baltimore is a great city, a world-class city, worthy of companies and some of the best and brightest in our country to live, work, and play here in this city. And I know that that's also the mission of our next speaker, Reginald Moore, who is Director of the City Parks and Recreation for the city.
Good morning. So excited to be here today, here at Middle Branch, and how this plan and this work here at Middle Branch ties back to our mission, which is building a stronger community, building a stronger Baltimore one community at a time through conservation, health and wellness, and social equity. What's also exciting is Mr. Middleton, you know, we've been meeting with the community is just a little bit down the road here. In the fall, we'll be breaking ground on the new Middle Branch Fitness and Wellness facility at Cherry Hill, which is and so it's important that we improve the park because of the connectivity. Because what we want that facility to be is the connection for South Baltimore and the many communities in South Baltimore, but also for other people in the city. And as Delegate Lieberman stated earlier, we'd love to see water taxes be able to bring people across into that facility for that green space in those parks. So it is truly important that we continue to improve our parks. And I just want to take a moment to thank the mayor for his continued support for our agency. Senator Ferguson, I call him up and I'll say, Senator Ferguson, I have a problem. He's more than willing to help. Delegate Lieberman, Councilman Costello, but also I have to acknowledge someone who I throw a lot of ideas off, and he never says no. He may smile and he'll say, whatever you need me to do, Reg, I'm here to help. And that's Brad Rogers from South Baltimore Gateway Partnership. And as well as Mr. Middleton in the community. So we're excited to be here today. And there again, I would love to invite everyone back out in early fall as we break ground on the Middle Branch Fitness and Wellness facility at Cherry Hill. Thank you. I'm so excited, I forgot I was supposed to introduce the next speaker. Chris Ryer, who's the planning director for our planning department, met with him yesterday. Great individual, has a lot of vision for where he wants to bring our neighborhood. So without further ado, Chris Ryer.
Thank you, Director Moore. And Mayor Young, I just want to say two things. One is, every once in a while, there's an idea that comes along that's bigger than all of us put together. And the Middle Branch is one of those ideas. Many of you in this room have been talking about this project for 20 or 30 years. And what I want to tell you today is that between the city, the state, and the nonprofits, we have the best team working on this project. And you're going to see a big lift on a project that has been talked about literally for a generation. And as planning director, my promise to you is that this project will reach into Cherry Hill, it will reach into Westport, and it will be a catalyst for the improvement of your neighborhood. And so with that, I would like to introduce one of our key nonprofit partners, South Baltimore Gateway, and Brad Rogers.
South Baltimore Gateway Partnership invests more than $6 million a year in casino revenues into the neighborhoods of South and Southwest Baltimore. And we are thrilled to be a partner in this project. I believe that the Middle Branch will be to Baltimore in the 21st century what the Inner Harbor was to Baltimore in the 20th century. Catalytic, transformational. This will be a waterfront for all of us to enjoy. It's a big deal. But today, as Senator Ferguson said, is not about aspiring, it is about doing. So in my few seconds, I want to commit to what we're going to be doing. Not only are we going to be helping to fund this effort as we have been, we're going to be making the investments now in the neighborhoods so that the community doesn't have to wait years for planning efforts, wait years for consultants, wait years to enjoy the natural splendor which is their neighborhood treasure. If you look outside right now, the grass is cut, the trees are trimmed, folks are canoeing. This work is happening right now, today. We are investing millions of dollars each year, and we will continue to do that so that as this vision becomes a reality, it encounters neighborhoods that are already owning, experiencing, enjoying their waterfront. And I'm very excited about that. All of that work, of course, is funded through casino revenues, and therefore it is only appropriate that I introduce Tom York from the Horseshoe Casino to talk about their investment in Baltimore.
All right, thank you. On behalf of Horseshoe Casino Baltimore, it is a privilege to support this important community initiative, which complements the multi-million-dollar capital investments we are making more broadly to enhance the city of Baltimore. This waterfront revitalization project is an important component of our ongoing efforts to create valuable new recreational and economic development opportunities throughout the city. I'd like to thank Mayor Young, Delegate Learman, Senator Ferguson, and Ben Wu of the Department of Commerce for their continuing commitment to important programs such as this one, and to recognize the exceptional work of the many community partners that have led to transform this ambitious vision into reality. The Parks and People Foundation, the Baltimore City Department of Recreation and Parks, the City of Baltimore Department of Planning, the SB7 Coalition, and the South Baltimore Gateway Partnership. In closing, I'd like to join our partners in encouraging residents to take an active role in the process by sharing their thoughts on these exceptional designs. Please do get involved. When finished, this project should reflect your vision for the Middle Branch waterfront. Thank you.
So again, I want to thank all of our speakers, all of our presenters today. As we begin to close, I just want to leave a few thoughts with you so you would know exactly what to do from here.
Can we announce Obi from Chris Van Holland's office?
Sir, we're in your city. We're in your city. We're going to do whatever you ask us to do. So we have a representative from U.S. Senator Chris Van Holland's office, Obi Chinamari. And so we just thank you for coming. We thank you for being here. Let me just say, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, let me just say while we're at this point, our federal delegation has been supporting this effort also. We've been working with Congressman Sarbanes and others. We've been asked to go down to D.C. and make a presentation to Maryland's entire federal delegation for their financial support in the future. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for helping us to recognize the representative from Senator Van Holland's office. And so as you can see, we have local, we have state representatives, we have our city delegation, we have the mayor, the federal delegation. There are a number of people that are supporting this project. So we do believe that this is one time and we'll move past planning into actual action. And so we are grateful for all of you being here. And thank you again, sir. And so as we begin to close, let me just again remind you all that there is a 2-week period where you can give public comment. You can go to City Garage, or you can go to the library in Cherry Hill. That period will end on June 12th. There is also a website, again, middlebranchwaterfront.com. You can give comments. And then we also want you all to know, in total transparency, what the process will be from here. So at the end of that public comment period, those comments will be collected. There will be a jury that will come together. That jury will consist of 5 people. We will then look at the public comments. We will look at the presentations. The 3 firms will do a public presentation as well as a presentation to the jury. The jury will then decide, they will rank order those 3 firms, 1, 2, 3, and the top firm, we will make a recommendation to the mayor that this is the firm with which Baltimore would want to contract as we move forward. And so assuming that that takes place, it is our hope that by early next year, there's a contract in place with that firm, and then this work begins. And projects along this scale are multi-year projects. And so what we've asked all of the firms to do is look at things that are implementable along the way. We don't need to wait until 5 years from now in order to do something. If we find something that can happen earlier, we would do so and move forward. So we just wanted all of you to know exactly what's taking place. You see the excitement, you see the designs, you see the innovation and ingenuity in this place. Right now, we just ask that you all please help us, give comments, we'll tabulate that, we'll have a jury that will convene, we'll make a recommendation to the mayor, then hopefully next year, there's a firm under contract, and we're actually moving forward. So again, we want to thank you all for coming and joining with us today. A few of us will be around for a little while. In case you have any questions, feel free. You can come and ask those questions at this point. Again, you can also log onto the website, go to the public sites, give comments. But we thank you all for coming, and we look forward to the work that's going to take place. Thank you.